My friend Dani Gomez goes to Pinecrest High School in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. She recently got accepted to Swarthmore for swimming. One of her friends was Nicholas Dworat, a senior at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, who she swam with. He was recruited to the University of Indianapolis swim team. He had a future planned out. Nicholas Dworat will not be attending the University of Indianapolis for swimming this fall. I'm Advait Arun. I'm a senior at Gunn High School and Gunn School Board representative. Gunn with two N's.
No, stand up.
Now, I've got a future planned out, but within minutes, Nicholas Dworat lost his future. He was silenced, never to speak or to swim again. My friend Dani jumped into action. Walkouts, protests, speeches, letters to Congress, writing legislative bills, all of it. Woo! Yeah! Similar to what a lot of us here are doing, and that inspires me. Dani and all of her friends in Florida trying to make real change for their communities because their friends died. Guys, that's so surreal. Their friends died. That's a hard thought to get around. Their friends could have been my friends, our friends. Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School could have been my school, our school. Florida is all of us. What happened in Florida could happen to any of us. And that's a scary reality to live in. So, I was discussing this with Dani and some friends of ours. How can we prevent this in the future? What's to do? One friend of mine, Will Harris, a senior from Albuquerque, New Mexico, had a lot of ideas about this. He is a gun owner himself, and we do have a lot of different views. For example, he's not in favor of raising the gun owning age, and he's not in favor of taking away guns from responsible owners like him. But, we'd all do well to listen and hear him out, because he is more supportive of comprehensive background checks. He does support removing loopholes in our purchasing process, and he does support increasing responsibility requirements. And what's more, he also had extremely interesting and important ideas about how mental health and security are mishandled at our schools. He had smart observations. Yes, even though we have totally different views, he had great ideas about how to make our schools safer and more peaceful. Just because we don't see eye to eye does not mean we cannot work together. Rather, I think this adds a collaborative dimension to this issue. The more we can discuss with one another, the more we can do about this problem, which is where the problem in America's gun debate is today. Because none of our policymakers seem to be able to remove themselves from this gridlock. My question is, why is this a political issue? Why do we treat this as a liberal versus conservative brawl? Liberals want to take away my guns and my liberty. Conservatives care more about their guns and their kids. This is bullshit. Who here wants to see change? Give me a shout. Change. Because this is not a conservative problem. This is not a liberal problem. To all the change makers here today, and that should be everybody, this battle is not between liberals and conservatives. This battle is between those of us who want to make a change and those of us who don't. There are conservatives who want to expand the background check system and see responsible gun ownership. There are liberals who want to expand our mental health systems, get school security, and properly study this epidemic. We're all on the same team in this fight. Which brings me to our next problem, our government. Let's face it, they care more about the money in their pockets and the votes in their ballot box than they do about creating meaningful change. You know what they do? You guys know what they do? They sit on stage at their hometowns on Sunday, talk about how this was a tragedy, how they never want to see this happen again, how we need to work harder to prevent this. And then they walk into Congress on Monday and don't do a thing. No matter their political stripe, many of them are to blame. Because after Sandy Hook, Democrats tried and failed and forgot. And Republicans are currently failing to do anything after Parkland. And soon, they'll forget. The fact that Congress was more than willing to walk away from and forget about meaningful reform after Columbine, Virginia Tech, Sandy Hook, Orlando, Las Vegas is a disgrace to the nation. Why do I need to count so many shootings on my hand? We should not let Parkland face the same fate at the hands of our government. Politicians talk all about how it's our future that matters, but because of their inaction, 17 futures in Parkland at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School were snuffed out. So guys, everyone remember, controlling Congress means nothing if they don't do anything meaningful with their power. We need to hold our representatives accountable no matter who they are, because they need to be doers, not just talkers. There's the common belief that restricting guns erodes the liberty of the people and infringes on our property rights. It prevents us from protecting ourselves against tyranny, they say. There's another pretty easy way to protect ourselves from tyranny. Get educated and advocate for what we believe in. We're doing that right now. An educated, civically active populace is the best defense against autocratic leaders. That's us. As long as we can be smart enough not to give up our liberties and privileges to our government, then we don't need guns to protect ourselves against anything. The conception of liberty as I want to do what I want and no one can stop me is flawed. Especially with guns, the possession of an object that was made for the explicit purpose of killing things is a threat to everyone. There are people... So yes, there are people who hunt and shoot for sport, and I've shot rifles at camp before, and shooting, people say, is a sport, an art, a way of life, whatever. Does that mean I should not give it up just because I enjoy it or makes me feel safe? Hell no! I believe that true liberty is not simply letting anyone do what they want. It comes from individuals working together to form stronger, safer communities, just like we're doing. The fact that we are afraid of being shot at our schools means that we are not free. We are not free from fear. True liberty, then, is when everyone can pursue what they want without anybody fearing for their lives, their liberties, or their pursuits of happiness. True liberty comes from respect for everyone else and their lives. So the fact of the matter is, we can talk for days about gun control and individual liberty, but we cannot sit by and let nothing happen. To hell with the status quo. So let me ask you this, what are you doing? If Congress won't change, we need to change at the local and state levels if Congress won't. This responsibility is on us. If they won't do anything about it, we will. To all the students out in this crowd, in a few years, we are all going to be at the ballot box. So you know what? Another tragedy, not on our watch. As we keep on trying and keep on fighting for positive change in our communities at all levels of our lives, we will end up with a better nation. We can say we did our best when our elders didn't and our elders wouldn't. Yeah. So to everyone, it does not matter who you are, Democrat or Republican, liberal or conservative, young, old, white or non-white, if you want to see change, then you're with us. There is only one way that we can make change in this country. Together. Thank you so much for your time, everyone. I'm glad that we're working together.